any leadership there is going to have their hands tied because of the loopholes that only Congress can close. And then we also have activist courts that are making decisions, and we're working hard to confirm judges to, kind of change that trend.
That was Arizona Senator Martha McSally yesterday here on Arizona's Morning News, answering who she'd like to see head up the Department of Homeland Security. Joining us on the KTAR Newsmaker line is National Border Patrol Council President Brandon Judd. Brandon, always good to talk to you. Thanks again for taking time for us. I want to start with the new numbers out from CBP. The Customs and Border Protection says 31,000 family members apprehended in the month of March, just in the month of March, in Tucson and Yuma sectors, 6,000 unaccompanied minors, 26,000 single adults. Overall, across the country, this was the busiest month for undocumented immigrants and migrant apprehensions than 2008, and 67% are families and unaccompanied children. It really is insane at the border.
Yeah, it is. And what's interesting about those numbers is if you go back and look in 2008, the difference was we had a lot of repeat offenders. So we would apprehend the same person over and over again. In the month of March of this year, we're actually dealing with more individual people than we ever have in the history of the Border Patrol because we don't have repeat offenders. These people are coming across, they're claiming asylum, and they're getting let go into the United States instead of being sent back to their country to try again. So we're in a completely and totally different dynamic right now. And this dynamic is the biggest emergency that we've ever faced in the Border Patrol.
And I noticed that the Border Patrol is doing something different, too, as a last resort. That's how it was put. Starting on March 19th, they're actually releasing non-criminal families directly from its custody. So they don't actually get put in a facility first for an initial whatever, in order to go see a judge. They're just really released into the community with the promise to come back and see a judge later.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the problem. When Senator McSally says that with judicial activism and because of the loopholes, there's nothing that can be done. In essence, she's right. But what we're looking at is within the current authorities what can be done, knowing that everything's going to be challenged in the court system. There are certain things that can be done, such as the migrant protection protocols, which a judge just said was illegal. But once it goes to the Supreme Court, we're most likely going to get a different ruling. The other thing is we can start the process earlier by doing credible fear interviews immediately upon arrest. And if we were to do that immediately upon arrest, it would kick off the process and would allow us to deport people a lot quicker if they failed those credible fear interviews. So there are certain things that can be done within current authorities that are being explored, and hopefully if they're implemented, we can get this crisis in hand.
We're talking with Brandon Judd, who's the president of the National Border Patrol Council, the Border Patrol Agents Union. Vice President Mike Pence is coming here, it looks like this week, to the border. He's going to be in Nogales probably tomorrow, along with the governor. Last week, the DHS secretary was here, the now almost former DHS secretary. Are these just photo ops, or does this mean something to the folks on the border, that are working, the boots on the ground, the Border Patrol agents and other agents working the border?
It's not just photo ops. Again, what they're looking at is what can we do within current authorities? What can the administration without Congress do? When President Trump was on the border last week, I was with him during the roundtable, and what I said, I'm going to say again. If Congress doesn't want to be part of the solution, what they need to do at least is get out of the way and let the administration do their work, so that we can get this crisis under hand and we can drive the numbers back down. Congress just seems to want to be a hindrance. It's the do-nothing Congress, and that's what we've seen for the last several years anyway. And so we've got to work within the administration and look at it and say, okay, we can, in fact, implement policies and programs, and we can get this under control.
All right. That is the National Border Patrol Council President, Brandon Judd, who says Congress needs to get out of the way, let the administration do its job when it comes to the border. But unbelievable numbers here. The largest number of apprehensions at the border since 2008, just in the month of March.